Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining me here today, and I'll be discussing overnight rail journeys with Railbookers and Amtrak Vacations. So we're going to take about half an hour to go through some of these great itineraries, including places in Australia and further afield in Europe and the US. Now, just to kick off, my name is Charlene, and I'm one of the business development executives here with Railbookers. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time explaining who we are, what we do, and our top packages across the world. But most importantly, I will discuss some of the advantages that you will have by booking through Railbookers, which isn't available anywhere else in the marketplace today. Now, before we get started, if you have a pen and paper handy, please take note of our reservations telephone number. It's just down the bottom of the screen along with our websites. So for Railbookers, it's 1300 938 534 and railbookers.com.au. And for Amtrak Vacations, so just specifically for the US elements, 1300 650 257 and amtrakvacations.com.au. So also don't forget to download some of our flyers we have here today. So some information on our flexibility policy as well as maps of Europe and the US and some information about the rail accommodations. And if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please pop them into the question box below and I will provide you all with an answer at the end of the presentation. So why book and travel with us here at Railbookers? Let's just spend a couple of minutes on a few of these main points. First of all, anything that we do quote and that you book, you will be able to pay in Australian dollars. So it doesn't matter where in the world you're traveling to, we will always do it in Aussie dollars for you. And obviously that is handy for all those exchanges and the fluctuations of currency. Doesn't matter where you're traveling on, whether it be the US for Amtrak, whether it be VRL for Canada, it's always in that Aussie dollars for you. We can book 24 months in advance as well. So if you are looking for 2021 journeys, rest assured we can quote those now for you. That's prices and schedules. And when you do call through to us, it is only an average hold time of 3 seconds. So almost instantaneously you'll be answered with one of our reservations team. All the rail we offer is bucket list experiences. You can think of places like the Canadian Rockies, for instance. You're looking for the Rocky Mountaineer, obviously by rail, and that is a bucket list experience. I know a lot of people out there want to do that, or even something like the Ghan or the Indian Pacific across Australia. We offer freedom and flexibility. So it doesn't matter when you're going, where you're going, we can do that for you. And it is a very scenic way to travel on rail. Also, when you go on the rail, there's room to roam. So you don't have to be stuck in your seat and like a coach or on a flight. You can always get up, you can visit the cafe, you can visit the observatory car, or just stretch your legs. And everything we offer is customizable as well. So we have those customizable itineraries, whether you want to make it a round trip, that potentially you could upgrade your hotels, you could look at spending extra time in cities, all of that. Just let the reservations team know and they'll be able to piece it together for you. And one of the biggest benefits to booking with us here is that you will have 24-hour support from our team. So all our offices are strategically placed across the globe to ensure that when you need us, we are there for you. So as well as Sydney, where I'm based here in Sydney, Australia, we have a Laguna in California, we have Beverly on the east coast of the USA, and also London. So we cover the full range of time zones to answer your calls and also to provide you with customer service. So that will provide you with peace of mind knowing that whenever you're away, you can always reach us on the phone. Next, we take that mystery and stress out of rail travel for you. So you can see here we have a map of Europe and all those colourful lines, they all represent a different high-speed rail line and none of them talk to each other. So as the rail expert operator, we know exactly where the trains go and the best routes to recommend to you. Now we know that you are Usually very concerned about how to do travel nowadays and obviously this COVID environment. So with the rail, a lot of them are requiring face coverings, so your face masks in the stations and on the trains, and that's for passengers as well as staff. We are obviously dealing with some changes to the way that food and drink is available on board. So the sale of food and drink on board the day trains themselves has been adjusted. It may be just in your seat, and also there's private meal delivery to cabins for sleeper trains. We also have seat configuration changes, so it may be only that every one out of two seats is available. So there's special allocation on board to allow for that social distancing, as well as some floor markings to allow that space. There's increased cleaning and sanitisation in all the areas of the train and the stations. And also with the tickets, a lot of them are accepting contactless ticket control. So it may be through a mobile or just showing a piece of paper, you'll be able to board the train for your tickets. Now, what does Railbookers offer? Well, Railbookers is that one-stop shop booking experience for you. It's a very easy way to travel. So, like any vacation package you may have booked in the past, our packages include everything from rail transportation, hotel accommodations, sightseeing tours, transfers, and more. Now, 2 days to 2 years, this is the long and short of our booking period. You can book it as far in advance as 24 months and as soon as 2 days before departure. So we have all those prices and schedules ready for quoting for you right now. And rail can be a great way to travel. It offers that freedom and flexibility, as I mentioned, to start on a date that suits you, unlike a coach tour or a cruise. And unlike the coach image you see here, you'll be able to sit back, relax, take in full views, as well as having room to roam. So you can get out of the seat, visit the cafe, observatory car, just stretch your legs. And as well as that, unlike flying, the rail stations are central in all of the cities. So there's no more travelling in and out of town for hours, checking in luggage and doing the same on the other end. It really comes with that level of convenience for you. Now, we are able to book any of the trains you would like across the world, whether it be scenic trains in Switzerland, overnight sleepers going between cities like in the likes of Spain or Portugal, or maybe you're looking at a quick trip across the channel on the Eurostar, long distance journeys across Canada on Via Rail, or intercity or intercountry travels in Europe. We have that all. Now, we always include a seat reservation wherever possible, so it's guaranteeing you a comfortable journey on board. And the luggage is usually stored above the seats, very similar to an airplane, or at the end of the car on the luggage racks. So there's no luggage restrictions as to what you bring on most of those trains. However, you are responsible for bringing it on and off the train. So you make sure that you're feeling comfortable with the weight. I would suggest something no more than 30 kilos. Also, many of the trains have a cafe car where the snacks, light meals and beverages can be purchased on board. And also we do all those luxury trains throughout the world. So if you're looking for a trip on the Rocky Mountaineer or maybe the Garn, we can book all of that for you. Maybe you want to enjoy the finer things in life, treat yourself to a special experience on a special occasion. Then I would suggest something maybe like the Golden Eagle for a Trans-Siberian, or you can upgrade on to prestige class on board the Via Rail, which goes through Canada. Now, these are some pretty crazy numbers. I'll give you a little bit of a chance if you'd like to have a guess. Unfortunately, I had no prizes for you. But I can tell you right now, 1,995, that is the number of European rail routes that we have. And 35,846, that's how many train stations there are in Europe. So those numbers really do show you there is so much you need to know about rail travel. And for that reason alone, you should always leave it in the most capable hands and book with the rail experts. So rail bookers, we are your rail experts, and our staff go on the rail we sell every year. So we have a first-hand experience to offer you expert advice to help you best. Now let's kick off on those all-important itineraries, and where is there no better to start but here at home. So we have the Australia Coast to Coast Adventure from Perth. It is 14-day itinerary, and you'll embark on a coast to coast adventure across Australia. You'll spend 2 nights in cosmopolitan Perth before boarding the Indian Pacific for an epic journey to Adelaide on the Gold Service there on the Indian Pacific. So amazing way to travel there in a sleeper car. Then you'll discover Adelaide all on your own. Board the overland over to Melbourne. You get 3 nights there. You get to see Phillip Island's Penguin Parade at Summerland Beach during an evening tour. And then when heading up to Sydney, you have the accommodation there on the XPT. It's a day service, and then have 4 nights in Sydney. So you'll be able to have a full day, all-inclusive tour to the magical, mysterious Blue Mountains from Sydney. Now, there are luxurious amenities on board the Indian Pacific, and they're the perfect complement to the changing scenery passing by the outside train windows. So you'll have stops and experiences in Kalgoorlie, Rallina, and Cook, having the opportunity to get to know those outback ghost towns. And each day offers travellers something new and exciting to explore. So in terms of the inclusions, I've already mentioned the Blue Mountains, but you also have a visit to Kings Park and the Botanic Gardens in Perth. You'll have a discovery of the lively city of Adelaide's top attractions, and you'll relax along the Yarra and shop at all of the lights of the Queen Victoria Market in Melbourne. You'll also get a tour of the Kangaroo Island from Adelaide. You'll get to see Sydney's golden beaches and the world-famous harbour. So it really is fully inclusive, this itinerary. It does have a lot of highlights and attractions for you. Our next itinerary is the Great Garn Adventure. It's 8 days. So this itinerary includes an epic 4-day, 3-night rail journey on board the Garn, and that's in Gold Service once again. Travels down from Darwin through Katherine, Alice Springs, Cooper Pedy, and then finally onto Adelaide, where you have 2 nights. So 2 nights to start in each of those cities, so a good amount of time there. And at each stop, Katherine, Alice Springs, Cooper Pedy, you can choose from a wide range of inclusions and upgradable off-train excursions to make your adventures really uniquely your own. You'll enjoy the Garn's luxurious amenities on board while watching the landscapes of the outback pass you by. So you'll have that hop-on, hop-off tour in Darwin. As well as that, you've got optional excursions in Katherine, including a cruise to the Katherine Gorge in Nimituk National Park. You'll also have Alice Springs and an outback tour with a barbecue dinner, and then also a tour of Cooper Pedy and Adelaide. Going a little bit further afield, across the Isle of Heart of the world, we have the Scottish Highlands and the Isle of Skye. It's a 10-day itinerary, and here you get to experience Scotland's most iconic landscapes and attractions. So this spectacular itinerary features some unforgettable experiences in Inverness, Isle of Skye, Edinburgh, and London. So first off, you'll get to explore the gateway to the Scottish Highlands, that's Inverness. Then tour the magical Isle of Skye and tour the Eilean Donan Castle. You'll get to stroll through Edinburgh's medieval old town, which is really one of my favourite places to go. Fantastic in August when you have the festival on then. And then you enjoy taking in all the ever-changing scenery from city to city, walk across the Abbey Road and watch the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace in London. So there really is no better way to experience this corner of the world than by train. And when I talk about the train, you do have the Caledonian Sleeper. It's an overnight rail journey between London and Inverness in the very north of Scotland. So it offers that timeless experience of travelling, and you have windows into some spellbinding views. It also gives you the ability to unwind as you travel by moonlight over to your destination. There are lots of highlights to this, but you will get a hop-on, hop-off sightseeing tour in London. You'll get the Sky and Eileen Donna Castle tour from Inverness, a hop-on, hop-off sightseeing tour of Inverness, and also a sightseeing tour of Edinburgh. I should highlight right now that we really do sell the world. It's not just what you've seen so far with Railbookers covering Australia and Europe. We also have Amtrak Vacations brand, which will take you to all the bucket list destinations you want across the United States. And just like Europe, there are so many stations and destinations. Amtrak has over 500 stations in the US, and we can book you to get on and off any one of those stations. And of course, the great thing about booking your American holidays with us are that you will pay in Aussie dollars. So you don't need to worry about the fluctuations on the American dollar. It's independent travel, but it is highly inclusive and it can all be booked by us. You can get into the heart of those national parks like Glacier, Yellowstone, and even the Grand Canyon. And we can book all of that 24 months in advance for you. And all of the arrangements can be customised to suit you. And that includes the destinations, your hotels, your sightseeing, and your transfers for you. Now, I highlight the national parks because they are some of our most popular destinations. We have accommodations located right on the doorstep of the national parks as well as the railway stations. For instance, we have Glacier National Park Lodge. It's just 208 steps away from the Amtrak station. And because these places are so popular and they sell out so quickly, we hold rooms so we can secure you a night almost instantly. And the trains that take you across the country are clean, they're comfortable and very scenic journeys, and they offer a variety of accommodations on board. I'll highlight just 3 of these trains, so bring them to your attention now because they are what we are using for 2 of the itineraries that I'm covering off today. So firstly, we have the California Zephyr, and that operates between San Francisco and Chicago via Denver and Salt Lake City. It's a very scenic route, so it will deliver you to locations like the Rocky Mountains. The Southwest Chief travels through the Midwestern and Southwestern states between Chicago and Los Angeles, and it passes through the likes of Kansas, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, and California. So the sceneries you can see here, you've got desert and also mountains. They're all on display. And the Coast Starlight goes along the west coast from Los Angeles to Seattle via Portland and San Francisco. So it skirts that Pacific Ocean and it takes in all the water views as well as the mountains up north. Now, our itineraries for Amtrak Vacations I highlight today, we start off with the All-American. It's 17-day itinerary. And this rail journey visits some of America's most popular destinations: Chicago, New York, New Orleans, San Francisco, and Denver. So you'll get to experience iconic American landmarks, national parks, and sites including the Empire State Building, the French Quarter, and the Golden Gate Bridge. It is a full all-American train journey that awaits you on this incredible vacation. So you'll have time along the California coastline. You'll explore San Francisco, an amazing city, before jumping on board the California Zephyr to Denver and the Rocky Mountains National Park. And this itinerary also gives you ample time in the vibrant eastern cities of Chicago and New York. So you get to visit the likes of the Empire State Building, you get to go to Times Square, Central Park, and much more. And then there's New Orleans, so the Big Easy. You can explore the town, check out some jazz, and enjoy its authentic Creole cuisine in the French Quarter. Quite a few highlights and inclusions here. We have a multi-day hop-on, hop-off sightseeing tour of New York, and that includes a ferry service over to the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. We have a sightseeing tour of New Orleans, hop-on, hop-off sightseeing tour of San Francisco, and a sightseeing tour of the Rocky Mountains National Park. Our next itinerary is the Grand National Parks with Yellowstone, Yosemite, and the Grand Canyon. So it's a 13-day itinerary, and you'll get to visit 3 of the nation's greatest national parks, that all await you on this rail journey across America. So you will take in the great expanse of the America's West as you travel across the Great Plains and through the Rocky Mountains aboard Amtrak. You'll kick off in Chicago and then head west, taking you across those waving fields of grain that make up the Great Plains and through the soaring peaks of the Rocky Mountains before reaching Salt Lake City. You'll get to stop and explore all the sights and wonders of the sprawling Yellowstone National Park and continue on to San Francisco and then Yosemite, where the tour takes in all those stony peaks, beautiful open meadows, and piney forests that make up this national treasure. And then the Grand Canyon is going to leave you in awe, reaching there from Los Angeles, and it has that natural beauty that takes millions of years to create. So your Grand National Parks journey will provide you with a host of unforgettable experiences. So with this tour, you do get quite a few inclusions yet again. You have a sightseeing tour of Yellowstone's Lower Loop. You have a sightseeing tour of Yosemite National Park, as well as a sightseeing city tour of Los Angeles. You have round trip service in the coach accommodations on the Grand Canyon Railway, which is really a big highlight. You get on board there, they've got entertainment, history talks, and also some unique, how can I say, immersion entertainment. And then once you reach the end of that trip, you have the motor coach freedom tour of Grand Canyon's South Rim. So a fantastic journey to see some spectacular national parks. Now, if you like what you're seeing here, but it's not exactly what you want, I mentioned we can tailor make your itinerary, and this includes the hotels. So we hold accommodations in many 3, 4, and 5-star hotels. If you're looking to adjust the budget, or maybe you're looking to have a really special stay somewhere, let us know and we can adjust any quote to suit you best. Now on board all the Amtrak rail, we have coach accommodations. They're the lead-in for our packages, and they're perfect for those that are looking to save a bit of money, or maybe you're a younger or student traveller. And they include comfortable reclining seats, access to the cafe and the dining car, as well as the sightseeing lounge. But what they're not going to include is access to the shower facilities on board, and your meals are also payable on board. Therefore, what I'm going to recommend as a minimum for most travellers who will be on board overnight is to consider upgrading to at least a sleeper. You will then have the benefit of also boarding separately and also skipping those queues. And as well as having privacy with the lockable door, you also have here what you can see is a roomette. And the roomette is private, so it also features an in-room sink and climate control. They offer daytime seating and a large picture window, which then converts to a comfortable upper and lower berth by night. In addition, you'll have access to multiple sightseeing lounges. You have the dining car with the meals included, and you also have access to a shower, which is located at the end of the hallway. And the next accommodation level available is the bedroom. So this is more spacious and private than a roomette. It offers its own enclosed shower and toilet, as well as comfortable seating by a picture window by day, as you can see here, and that converts to an upper and lower berth by night for sleeping. Once again, the meals are included, and you can utilise the various sightseeing cars on board during your travels. And one of the extra benefits that you have by being in that sleeper coach as well is that when you're traveling now, you can have your meals delivered directly to you in your cabin. That's running at the moment for the eastern coast of the USA. They bring you your own meals. You just book in for a certain time and your meal, and you'll be able to get that delivered. And I guess the benefit to that as well is that you'll be able to sit and enjoy the views in your own private space whilst you're eating and drinking in peace and comfort. Now, dining on board Amtrak in of itself is a great experience. All the meals are freshly prepared by chefs, and there's a wide variety utilising some of the very best local produce. So if you fancy something light, you can choose maybe a soup or a fresh salad. or perhaps if you're looking for something a little bit more substantial, have a grilled steak topped off with some delicious chocolate fudge cake. Well, you can choose. It's all a la carte menu, so you can have different dishes over the multiple days that you're traveling. Now, given today's situation, we do have a new and flexible booking policy. So any new and existing reservations can change travel dates or cancel up to 5 days prior to departure without any fees. So we do offer that peace of mind about any future travel that you may wish to book. And of course, how to book. Well, you can let our highly experienced travel consultants assist you on any of the bookings you'd like to make. So if you'd like to get an idea of the trip that you desire before calling, by all means, you can visit our websites as well. So you have railbookers.com.au, amtrakvacations.com.au, lots of itineraries, hundreds, and what we've shown you today is really just the tip of the iceberg. And if you would like a quote, you can call Railbookers 1300 938 534, or if you're looking to travel to the US specifically, you can call Amtrak Vacations on 1300 650 257. Now, I will now open up to questions from you. If you want to pop those into the question box, I'm here to answer those live. Excellent. So our first question is in regards to deposits. Great question, by the way. So it's $250 per person. We do normally take those deposits within 7 days of quoting. And the great benefit of that is it is going to lock in the cost for you. So you don't need to worry about fluctuating currency exchange. As I said, we do quote in Australian dollars as well, so that's another benefit. And then your full payment is due usually 90 days out from departure. Now, there are a couple of people that are indicating that they missed the first few slides of this webinar. Don't worry. What we're going to do is we have recorded the webinar and we will send you out a link within the next 24 hours so you can watch it back at your own convenience. Now, when it comes to customizing, which is another great question, we don't charge any extra to customize. All of these itineraries are all independent. They've all been individually pieced together based on what has been popular in the past. So that's how we put together all of our itineraries. And of course, if you're looking to do something different, you've got very specific ideas in mind, you give the reservations team a call and they'll be able to piece it together for you. The only difference with the customizing is that if you were to quote straight away off one of our pre-made itineraries, it's almost instant. With anything that we do that is customized, it just takes us a little bit longer to put it together. But usually what our reservations team can do for you is have you on hold. They can talk you through the options and it might only take you half an hour and we will get that quote out to you straight away. Excellent. So do we have any further questions? No, that's okay. Well, look, I know that right now might not be the right time for you to start locking in those future travel plans, but I know that a lot of you are sitting at home like us, so you can see all the images here. We're all sitting at home working very hastily on your quotes, but certainly, you know, anytime you need to have any further information and you want to get those quotes, do give us a call because we're here for you. And when you're ready, we're ready. Even if you have the questions on our itineraries or you'd like a quote to save for later, don't hesitate to give us a call now. We're happy to help you. So that is the end of our webinar for today. I'd like to thank you so much for joining me and taking the time out of your day to learn more about what we have to offer on our overnight trips with Railbookers and Amtrak Vacations. If you do have any further questions, as I say, give us a call. We're happy to help you with anything. But in the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy. Hopefully we'll see you join us again for another webinar. But in the meantime, have a great day. Take care. Bye.